First, Amazon removed any ability for us to get new reviews on our products, and then giveaways don't work anymore. Why does Amazon keep throwing us these curveballs, and how are we going to launch our first product on Amazon? If you're asking yourself those questions, then you are not alone. Trust me, there are thousands of people asking these questions. In this video, I'm going to answer those two questions for you, but I'm going to do so in a way such that when you get to the end of this video, you're not just going to say, well, Myles said this, so it's probably true. But then again, that guy said that, so maybe it's not true. I don't know what's going on, because I know there's so much conflicting information out there. And so what I'm going to give you is the actionable information, the fundamental concepts, so that you can really understand what's going on, and therefore make the right decisions in your own business and go away and take some sort of action after this video, rather than just moving on to the next one, rather than just getting a second opinion, because that cycle never ends. So by the way, guys, if you like that, my goal with this channel is to cut through the noise such that every time you watch one of my videos, you can go away and do something, improve the way you think about Amazon, improve your Amazon business, and get moving faster and accelerate your journey. If you do like that, please leave me a comment down below saying that that's what you want to see. Please give the video a thumbs up as well. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. All of this stuff will help me spread this message and help me grow as well. So I really appreciate it. So I'm going to dive you into my computer to get started so we can start explaining these, start answering these questions. Do you need Amazon reviews to get started? And do giveaways work? Now, I will be explaining the concepts, the lessons, the things that you need to understand, not just to answer those questions, but to be able to sell well on Amazon in general. So I advise you, if you have a pen and paper or something, or you want to take notes, then do that. But definitely have your mind in learning mode, please. And let's get into this. I will as well, by the way, I'll be showing you a couple of examples on Amazon. And not only that, I'm going to show you some examples from my own seller storefront. I won't show you the actual products, but I'll show you the numbers and the things that I'm doing right now that should help you answer these questions. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So let's start with some really basic logic. If you start by saying giveaways do not work, or for example, you cannot launch a product without reviews, or you cannot run PPC without reviews, then what you're saying is it doesn't work for anyone at all. So 0 sellers out of the hundreds of thousands of Amazon sellers around the world, this method, either giveaways or launching without reviews or doing anything without reviews, does not work, all right? So it's actually really hard to prove that statement, because as soon as you find one person, and hopefully a lot more than one person, who can show that it does work for them, then the fact is that it does work. Then once we've broken that down, and by the way, actually, before we go any further, I'll just show you this screenshot, and I apologize for the messy screen. I have a fair few things that I want to run through with you, so I'll get into all of these. But now, in terms of does it work for anyone? The answer is yes. So I'm going to be that one person out of the hundreds of thousands who says that yes, you can launch a product, or you can start running PPC, and you can do fine from day one with 0 reviews. So this is a new product. I took the screenshot just this morning. New product, 0 reviews, which means not a variation or anything. It's just a brand new listing. Obviously, it's filled out. It's pretty optimized, kind of. And so if you go into the listing, it says you'll be the first to review this item. So it's brand new, and it's making sales through PPC, with PPC ACOS, which is the cost of advertising, basically, of less than 26%. That is actually the average of my entire account. So I've done around about $400,000 in sales using advertising to date. And my account average for products that have hundreds of reviews is around about 26%. So I'm getting that already on this completely brand new product. So I'm gonna be this one guy who is just gonna come out front and say, yes, you can do it. I am doing it right now. So I'll be explaining the difference between the can do this camp, or you can start and you can launch a product with 0 reviews, and the difference between that and the difference between, nobody can start a product with 0 reviews, or you can't run PPC, and you definitely can't do this. But first, I just wanted to introduce one quick concept here, which is believability. So I really, really like this. This is by a book by Ray Dalio called Principles. And Ray Dalio is a really smart guy. He's a billionaire investor. And his book is fantastic. In this book, he proposes that if you're looking to take advice from somebody in anything, this isn't Amazon FBA specific, I just found this really interesting and useful. If you want to take advice from someone, you're wondering who to trust, then ask yourself these 3 questions. First of all, ask yourself, have they done what I'm trying to do? And can they show it, right? And then secondly, ask, how successful is their track record at doing this? How successful are they? How are they sort of just starting out and then sort of explaining what they're trying to do? Or do they have a really good track record of doing this over and over again? And then the last thing is, how well can they actually explain their method? Because some people will go through the entire process with luck on their side and just get to the end and actually not really understand anything that they did. So those 3 things, really important questions to ask yourself going forwards. I think for anything in life, I use this all the time. So my answers to those three questions, just so you know, before we go on, do I trust Myles? Have I done what I'm trying to show you, what I'm trying to argue? Yes, I have actually. So these are my sales now. This doesn't include my European account. So all up, it's over $2 million, which is cool, in less than 2 years. So I started in November. I was doing, a couple $100 a day, or it went down again, say like a few $100 a day. Been launching products pretty much since then. Hit a low, went up, launching more products, peaked big time in December. Hopefully we'll be much higher than that this year, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I've been launching products for a while now and doing it quite well. So I do know what I'm talking about, at least in my own experience. And then how successful is my track record? You can be the judge. And then number 3 as well, you can be the judge of this. How well can I actually explain what I'm talking about? So that's believability. Guys, I just want you to make sure that when you're getting this information, for example, don't take the advice of somebody who hasn't been selling on Amazon ever over my advice because of these 3 questions. But I really recommend you take away these 3 questions and this concept whenever you're watching YouTube, whenever you're reading anything, even in day-to-day life, and just ask those questions because they're really useful. I also recommend that book a lot. Anyway, let's move back to Amazon FBA now, and we're talking about, can you launch or can you start running PPC with 0 views? And if so, what results should you expect? So of course the answer is yes, you can do it. There's the proof. This is the most recent proof anyway. I have more, but this is the only one with 0 views on my account right now. So the difference between the groups of products and the groups of sellers who can do this, who can start with 0 views and start doing like a well-performing PPC campaign straight away, versus the people who will tell you that it's not possible. To understand this difference, let's go back to fundamentals. So let's, for a second, stop thinking about reviews and let's just think about Amazon, okay? So I'm gonna scroll down here and I'm gonna start teaching a little bit. So fundamentals of Amazon. Your success or your product success on Amazon is going to be related to your ability to rank for keywords, okay? Amazon is a search-based marketplace. Everyone who's coming to Amazon is searching for things that they already want to buy, right? So they're typing into the search bar. Almost always that's the way that your product will get found. And the way to get found is by ranking for those specific keywords that customers are typing in. So that's number 1, that's success. And then secondly, okay, so we know that to be successful on Amazon for our product to sell well, we need to get keyword ranking. How do we get keyword ranking? And the answer there is sales velocity, right? So if you can get sales for that keyword, Amazon's algorithm is gonna go, that's a great product. It should be higher up in the search results. And here's a little graph, which you may have seen on my channel before, but I'm going to always refer back to it because it teaches this fundamental so well. So this is a graph of the sales volume, right, in a search result. And up here, we're looking at the number 1 search result for a keyword, and then number 2, number 3, and so on and so forth. And the key thing here is that it's an exponential relationship. So you want to get up to the top because at the top, you're going to make as many sales as all of the bottom 5 pages or whatever. So it's really like not a winner takes all game, but you can see the exponential benefits of getting to the top. So the way that sales velocity leads to keyword ranking, which leads to success on Amazon, is say you're down here, you're at the bottom of page 10 or wherever, your product is just brand new, you have no sales velocity, but then suddenly you start getting sales velocity, either through PPC or giveaway, some sort of traffic. Something needs to start that sales velocity going. And then what that does is it shows Amazon that although you're down here currently, is the way that the algorithm currently is for that search result, you're actually getting the velocity of a product that's up here. And so Amazon goes, hey, hang on, this isn't right. Why is this product all the way down here? It actually needs to be moved up. It needs to be moved up here because it's equal to these ones. So that's really how sales velocity, by getting sales velocity, you'll be showing Amazon that your product needs to move up. It needs to get better keyword ranking. And then when you get better keyword ranking, you're up here, you're getting all this visibility, you're getting all of these sales, right? So that's how sales velocity fits into keyword ranking, which fits into success on Amazon. Now let's dig into sales velocity, right? So we're either normally doing this using giveaways or PPC, either one. And so you might be thinking, well, do I do one or the other or whatever? But in this case, I'm going to break it down so that sales velocity is just these component parts so that you can either use PPC or you can use giveaways, or you can choose to do something else entirely. As long as you're getting that sales velocity, then that's fine. So how do we get the sales velocity? All we need are clicks and sales. And by sales, I actually mean conversions, but I like to say clicks and sales. So let me define that. I'm going to bring up Amazon. So we're looking at Amazon as a customer now. We've typed in food storage because I'm looking to buy food storage related products. And this is the search result. So then to get that first thing, the click, all you have to do is have your listing show up, first of all, through keyword ranking, whatever, or PPC, or a giveaway, or whatever. Have it show up, and then somebody just has to click on it. which means, you know, that it has to stand out. And then they click on it because they're interested. So they click on it. Let's say they click on this one, and then they're here. You turn up on the listing page, and then the only other element that you need to get sales velocity is you need to actually get the sale. And all that is somebody's here, and then they click the add to cart button. So if they've done both of those things, they've clicked onto your listing, and then they've clicked the add to cart button, or call it sale or conversion, either of those, then you do that enough times and you have sales velocity. So I'm gonna figure all of the windows. I have a lot open at the moment. So jumping back into our lesson, so you get clicks and sales. And the metrics here that we'll be using, that you'll be hearing a lot about, especially as you get more advanced as an Amazon seller, is the metrics that define clicks and sales, which are click-through rate and conversion rate, or CTR and CVR, all right? So we'll show you that here now as well, going back. So I don't have the conversion rate on this screenshot. I'll try and can I get them both up at the same time? Not very good with computers. All right, so click-through rate, there we go. Click-through rate is here. That is the percentage of people that actually saw my ad, because remember this is PPC. They saw my ad in these search results. Where are we? They saw my ad up here, okay? And then they clicked through. So actually of 100 times that people saw my ad, 1.23 people clicked through. And that's actually a good click-through rate, especially when there's 0 reviews on that listing, right? So I got the first element of sales velocity through PPC. I got clicks. Enough people are clicking through and they're interested in the listing and they're going to view the listing page. And then once they're on that listing page, how many people are actually clicking add to cart and buying my item? That's the conversion rate. So both of these metrics, that's everything really. You can then bring it back through those steps that we just talked about, and that's success on Amazon. So if you have a good click-through rate and you have a good conversion rate, you're gonna get sales, you're gonna get keyword ranking, and then you're gonna be successful. And in this case, just as a side note, this is Campaign Manager. You can't actually show the conversion rate, but to calculate the conversion rate, I've got here percentage of people who clicked and then bought versus the people who clicked, sorry. It's just gonna be orders divided by clicks. So in this case, 8 divided by 54. I can't maths, what's that? 1 in 8, I'm gonna say 15% conversion rate. So for this 0 review product through PPC, I'm getting 1.23 people per 100 clicking onto my listing, which is pretty high, at least for my products. And then of those people, 15% roughly are choosing to buy my product without reviews. So those are good metrics. So click-through rate, conversion rate equals sales or sales velocity equals keyword ranking. If you have enough keyword ranking, you should have success on Amazon. How do we tie this all back into reviews? What the hell does this have to do with reviews? So all that reviews do, going from 0 to 10 or 10 to 100 or 100 to 1,000 or whatever, all that reviews do is increase in some way, shape or form your click-through rate and your conversion rate. Now we're starting to look at things in terms of building blocks. And again, just to take this back a little bit, all that means is that, going back to our listing page, where are we? All that means is that this listing with 1,600 reviews, it's going to increase the click-through rate, which means that when somebody looks at this, they're trying to buy food storage, the percentage or the chance that they will click on that listing is going to go up to some extent, a little bit, a lot. We'll get into that, but that's going to increase the click-through rate. And then when they see this listing page, they've already clicked through. When they look up here and they see 1,600 reviews, that number being 1,600 versus 0 is going to increase the conversion rate, right? To some extent, we'll talk about how much in a second. So having reviews just pushes both of those up. And again, how much is the big question? How much does that push that up? So let's talk about that. And I hope you're finding this theory useful, by the way. A lot of this stuff is concepts that I'm really expanding on a lot in the course, in the FBA Freedom Accelerator. I've been doing that over the last week or so, and that's why this is all really fresh in my mind. So I just wanted to sort of get it out and hopefully teach you guys something useful. If you are interested in learning about this in more detail and how it fits into everything, how to really launch your product really successfully, then click the first link in the description down below. I'm going to be launching that at the end of October for a really short period of time. So if you are interested in that, you'll have only like 5 days to join. Anyway, we're talking about reviews, click-through rate, conversion rate. So we know that reviews are going to boost up our click-through rate and our conversion rate. So the only question is, instead of do I need reviews, it's do I have a high enough click-through rate and conversion rate to account for the lack of reviews, right? is it enough to do so without reviews? If both those metrics are high enough, you got the sales, you got the keyword ranking, you got the success. And once you have those as well, then you get more reviews because people are buying, they're enjoying your product, and so it feeds back. So all we're trying to do is find some other way. If we don't have reviews, then we need some other way of increasing our click-through rate and our conversion rate. And these 6 things right here, these are the biggest factors that will influence your click-through rate and conversion rate. And so what I mean by this is, if you have enough pieces of these 6, except for number 4, so you don't have reviews, but you have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, if you have enough of them, then reviews don't matter. And I'm going to show you later on some examples. I've already showed you my product as an example where I have enough of these other elements that my reviews aren't necessary to get the click-through rate and the conversion rate. But I also show you at least one example of another product that I just found on Amazon that also didn't start with reviews and yet still had all of the other elements in order to be successful without reviews. So you can think about this as a continuum. These are prioritized, which means, and this is the big mistake that most people make, is they jump down to number 4, number 5, and number 6, and they forgot about number 1, number 2, and number 3, which are by far much more important, okay? So the first one is your product research. This is identifying the right niche, the one that has not too much competition, but also very importantly, has room for you to differentiate, and then for you to actually identify what your differentiation will be, what your improvements will be, and then going into that. And the secret is that when you differentiate the niche that you're looking at, you actually sort of cut away a part of it and you become, or you create your own little sub niche. Because if you have this unique improvement, let's say it's a different design. If you are the only one with that design, then anyone who is looking for that design has no other choice because that's what they want and you're the only one offering it. And when you can get into that position, differentiating effectively, essentially you have your own niche, you can pretty much set your price. You can do what I did, again with this, where is it? So this product is unique on the market. It's a very, very low competition niche, which is why I'm not launching it at the moment. It's a low priority, but there's nothing else that exists that looks exactly like it, has the same function, works the same way, or will give the same benefits to the customer. And so I can afford to do this. I could probably increase the price and be making money right now. I do have to go back and fix those things up first, the title, the keywords, all of that stuff. But because I've done my product research correctly in this case, the niche is nice and not very competitive. It's differentiated. All I need in this case is number 1, okay? I have number 2 as well, I think, and number 3 is okay, but mainly it's number 1. And so I've done that. I've got enough of that my click-through rate, my conversion rate, going back up here, my click-through rate and my conversion rate are high enough. And again, you can see the numbers, 1.23% and a conversion rate of around about 15%, if my maths is good, that I get sales velocity. I'm ranking already as well because the niche is not competitive. And so this product pretty much is successful from day 1. And so when I rank it properly, it will be much more successful, but like this is the baseline. So that's number 1, product research. So important. And I've really gone into depth in this, in product research in my course, again, like based on fundamentals, but I'll be putting more videos out about how you can select these sorts of products as well on my channel. The second thing is main listing image. And in fact, I wanted to show you an example of why I've prioritized these like this. Again, I'm going to use facts here. I'm going to show you real evidence with science this time. So this is we call it a heat map. And what this is they've actually like sat down some buyers in a test environment in a laboratory, and then they track their eye movements, okay? So they're actually seeing what a customer is looking at when they're on the Amazon page. And by that, you can see where the majority of the eye is looking at. That's where the person is focused on, that's what they're thinking about, and therefore that is what is most important for your listing. So this is really cool stuff. This is like technology to hack into our buyers' brains. Really cool. So you can see what they're looking at. Red is being a heat map. Red is like the hottest area. It's the most focused. So these guys are looking at the main image because it's just this visual differentiator. So it's the main thing that stands out. They're also looking, I guess, at the keyword and the Amazon logo as probably for security, just checking that they're on Amazon. And then after they've looked at that main listing image, which not only visual differentiation, by the way, is a really great differentiator. So if you have a listing image that just, it pops and it looks completely different to all of the other products that they're looking for or in the search results, then you'll get this big red effect where your customer's eyes are just drawn to your listing image. And then they're very likely to click if you can get that done. So it's listing image. And then it's also, you can see here, these other factors that we're talking about. It's the title as well. So they want to know what is the product. And that also relates to differentiation and your niche, because if you have the right keywords there, then they'll be seeing that and realizing that you're the only option for them. Then they're looking at price. And you can see that the size of these, looking at that price figure there, is bigger than the reviews. So price is actually more of a factor than reviews. You can see they look at the reviews, this sort of lighter area, but it's not as much of a consideration. So here's the evidence for what I'm talking about. That's all I wanted to say with this. So main listing image, anyway, I won't get into details of what you need to do, but basically if you have an effective main listing image, what that will affect is click-through rate. So again, that's this number here. If you just have the most fantastic image, or it's a product that really jumps out, that number will go up. You could get 2%, I guess, I think is really high, but I think my listing image on this product has a good main image, and I think that's why the click-through rate is good. And the next factor is going to be price. So generally, lowering your price will increase both your click-through rate, because people are looking and they're seeing and they're checking whether the price is right. It will increase your click-through rate, having a lower price, and it will also increase your conversion rate, the lower the price is. This varies if you have a luxury good or something like that. We call that a Veblen good in economic terms. That's where as you increase the price, you actually sell more, that sounds like, the dream, right? Most private label goods won't be luxury goods like that. So generally you lower the price, you'll have more demand. You can test this. I've tested this many times. I'm going to show you one example of how lowering the price will drastically increase the conversion rate and therefore get you more sales. So this is one example. Now you can see here, this is from Selix, my profit dashboard. So in the first, 4 days or so, the price was at $22 and the conversion rate was 10%. So you can see here, by the way, the scale is blue is units and pink is conversion rate. And they are kind of the same. So I dropped the price, or this was the higher price here. You can see like sales conversions down there. And then I dropped the price, $5. And then immediately, and it starts going up, there's a bit of a lag, but almost immediately, my conversion rate went up 50%. So from 10 to 15%. This is just one example. I have a lot of products, and almost always this is what you'll see. Sometimes it's not the case, but if you're starting out, particularly when you don't have those reviews, it generally works quite well. Just lower the price a bit, you'll increase both the click-through rate and the conversion rate, and you'll be compensating for that lack of reviews. So yes, this is going to reduce your profit margin, and in fact, in this one, so I've actually lost money over the last, whatever this is, period of 10 days or whatever, because in this case, I'm getting more sales, but the price is low. However, going back to this, there's so many windows here, going back to this sort of graph, the way that Amazon's ranking works, it's not a linear thing. So it's okay to lose money at the start. And in fact, you should expect to lose money at the start. Ideally, you don't, but a lot of the time you do. On the first order, you're down here and you're sort of spending all of this money. You're lowering the price. You're doing whatever you can, basically spending money or foregoing additional sales. Additional like selling at a high price. You're foregoing that in order to increase your click-through rate and your conversion rate, so that you get the sales velocity when you're down here and you get up here. And then once you're up here, you're getting so many new sales that the reviews are coming in, for example. And once you're up there, you sort of like solidify as well. And so you front end load all of this cost. And so you're losing money at the start, but you're building your way up here. And then once you're up there, that's when you can start to increase your price over time. Now, I've shown you that. I hope that this has all made sense up until here. So again, what we're trying to do is just find other ways in which we can increase our click-through rate and our conversion rate, because that's all we're trying to do at the end of the day to be successful on Amazon. And reviews are one aspect of that, but we have many options to choose from. And these are the top options. Secondary listing images and listing copy, less important than reviews, I believe anyway, my personal opinion. This is harder to test. As you go further down the list, it's harder to test and harder to get good data, because again, those other things are more important. So I'm not going to talk much more about that, but in this case, it'll be make sure that you have your optimized listing done before you start all of this. Okay, next thing I want to show you, now that you hopefully know what the biggest factors are that are influencing the click-through rate, the conversion rate, the things that you're getting reviews in order to boost, right? So you're just looking at alternative ways to boost those two metrics. I want to show you one example from Amazon that I just found. It's not my product, showing you that yes, you can start and you can very quickly get sales with 0 reviews. And then what you do is you just increase the price. So, and then it becomes sustainable as well. So let me show you this product that I found. So the niche is beeswax wrap. And then I click through to this listing in particular, right? Where is the brand name? Honeybee Organic Beeswax Wrap. Alrighty, so if you don't have these tools, Keeper and Viral Launch, I recommend you get them. I will put some links down below. This is sort of getting to more like advanced usage, being able to look at these graphs and these trends and see what's going on. And once you can see what's going on, you can start answering a lot of these questions for yourself, because again, you just need to see a few examples to realize that, oh yeah, actually this is possible. So I'm going to show you now that it is possible. This is how this seller has done it. So maybe I'm just trying to organize this so it's a little bit easier to see. All right, so actually I'm going to close this so in case you haven't used Keeper before, get out of here. Close that. Right, so we're looking at Keeper. This is a Chrome extension. It's completely free. Actually, I'll either put the link or something down below, but Keeper, Chrome extension. And what this is showing us is up here, we have this blue line. Actually, I might just briefly hide this one. Okay, so we're looking at this period. I don't know what that is. I guess the product wasn't selling, but this is effectively where they start selling. So we'll zoom into here. The blue line is telling us what the price is, the sale price over time. And so we're looking at starting in July, Friday, or roughly the start of July, and then going up until now. So the blue line is their sale price over this entire selling history. They currently have 23 reviews. And then the green line is the sales rank. Now you can pretty much flip this graph upside down if you want to know the sales, right? So the higher the sales rank goes up, the less sales they're making. So if you see this line going down closer to the bottom, like it is here, here, and here, these bottom points, that's where they're actually generating more sales. And in fact, if you look at enough of these, you'll see that, and when the line disappears, the blue line disappears, and the green line, the sales rank, goes up, this means they're out of stock during this period. So they're not making any sales at all. So of course their sales rank is going up because their sales are going down. Okay, so they've been out of stock 3 times in the last couple of months. What I want to show you now is, or actually I'll bring up Viral Launch. So what Viral Launch is doing in this graph is just taking the same data as what Keeper has and then flipping it upside down to show you the sales. So where the Viral Launch graph goes up like this, that's lots of sales basically. And then when it goes down, that's not many sales. So basically I just want to show you that during these periods here, here, and here, when they're not out of stock, these are out of stock, completely out of stock, this product is making good sales. It's making, 900 sales. Where are we? 500 sales per month. 500. So let's say 500 sales per month. So I'm going to close that now. And then bring up this more historical data. So now we've seen through Viral Launch that we're getting, between 900 to 500 sales per month during the periods where this product is in stock. It only has 23 reviews now, and it started at 0. I'm just going to again just get this time frame to be smaller, so you can just click and drag and it automatically changes the time frame. So we're looking at the very start of this product from its product launch, and it had 0 reviews. There's nothing on here, so this was 0 reviews. One thing to note as well, this is really useful to see if somebody's doing like black hat stuff, for example. In this case, they had about a week without reviews, and then they were at 2 reviews for another week. These guys are getting reviews organically. They're not doing anything out of the ordinary, I don't think anyway, to get, say, lots of black hat or unverified or otherwise fake reviews. These guys are doing a very similar approach to what I normally do. It's easy as well, okay? So let's have a look at this. They start with 0 reviews. They're getting sales already. The reason why is because their price at the start is really low. So they're priced at $11.47. And you can see here after, 1 month? After 1 month, then their sort of average sale price is actually around $16. So they started at $5 less than what they wanted to end up selling at. And you can see here, they immediately start getting sales because, bringing this back to our lesson, their niche is good. Viral Launch said that it was 5 stars. I don't recommend you put too much weight on that, but that's just an indication. It's, there's decent revenue, not many reviews. So they picked a good niche. In terms of differentiation, I don't know, I haven't looked into this too much, but just looking at this quickly, I can say that main listing image does stand out. It looks different to the other ones on the search result, which are these ones. So that's the one we're looking at, by the way. So it pops out. So they've done that well, visual differentiation. Their listing looks good. At the time, they had the low price, which going back when someone's scrolling through here, it's going to increase the click-through rate. as well as the image and all of that. So they've done all of these things right. So they've done that right. Good main listing image, starting with the low price, so important. They didn't have any reviews, didn't have that at all. They did have, good secondary listing images. Let's go back and have another look at that. These are fantastic images, very lifestyle, very, very colorful. They show the product really well. So good listing images, that's element number 5. And then lastly, good listing copy. I haven't read through this. I like the little B symbol, although it's against Amazon terms of service. And it's Australian made, of course it's selling well. So that's good to know. So they have 5 out of 6 of these initial elements, okay? So they did not have any reviews. Again, I'm just gonna drive this point home. Started with 0, but instead, all they needed to do, because they had everything else, they just set at a low price. And immediately, what happened was this product took off. They immediately realized that it was taking off. And so they started increasing the price up to where they wanted to be. And in fact, they were about to stock out. So you can see they increased the price past where they wanted to be. They stocked out for how long? A week? 10 days, something like that. Came back into stock, lowered the price again because you lose a bit of ranking juice when you go out of stock. Maybe they may have been hitting PPC extra hard here. I don't know. You can't see that from the data, but that's generally what you do is, again, just get that sales velocity happening. And again, to increase the conversion rate, they started with a slightly lower price. So they're just playing those 2 fundamentals here. I hope you can see this all coming together and working to following back from, even though we didn't have any reviews, or these guys didn't have reviews, they had everything else to get the click-through rate and the conversion rate they needed to get the sales velocity. With the sales velocity comes the keyword ranking. And once you can gain that and then maintain it, success on Amazon. This is a really fantastic case study, guys. I just stumbled upon this right now, so I'm happy that I found it so I could show it to you guys. I'm happy for their success as well. I hope they continue to do well. So that's really end-to-end everything that you need to know to be able to put yourself in this camp, this group of sellers who can launch products with 0 reviews if you choose to. One caveat I haven't mentioned yet, but I'm not recommending that you just always do this. If you can get reviews, then do so. But just understand that it fits into this bigger picture, this framework. So it's not just a be all and an end all. It may be if, for example, if you do really bad product research and you start to sell a Me Too product, then yeah, hell yeah, you're going to need 100 reviews. And if you can't get 100 reviews, you're in trouble. But now you know why, when, and how you need reviews, or whether you don't or not. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is giveaways. Okay, let's talk about giveaways. I'll do this one more quickly, and I apologize if there's some thunder or crackling in the background. When it comes to giveaways, it's going to be the same logic as before. Again, if somebody tells you that it's not possible, they don't work, that logic is proven false as long as at least one person can show that it does work, all right? So I advise you to just go and, rather than just looking for anybody saying it doesn't work, look for anyone saying that it does work. And you'll find people in Facebook groups. I have a few comments on my own channel as well, so you can search through those comments. And all you need to see is a few people, or at least one person saying, yeah, I tried this recently and it worked for me, or this is how it went. You don't need to be looking for the one person saying it doesn't work. Again, just at least one person who says it does work. And then once you can find one person who says, yes, giveaways do work, I tried this, it worked for me and for my business, then you can, again, divide everybody into 2 different groups, or sellers and products into 2 different groups. So it's firstly, those who tried the giveaway and it failed for them, they were not able to get it to work. And then those who tried it and succeeded, all right? So again, we have 2 camps. And then we're just gonna analyze the difference between these 2 groups to determine if, when you try it, which camp will you fall into? Will you try it and it won't work, or will you try it and it will succeed? To analyze the difference, then we need to know, how do giveaways work? And I'm gonna go into that now. So we can split a giveaway launch into 2 different parts and then just dig down into these a little bit more. So first I'll talk about the actual giveaway, which is just like, setting up your, maybe using a launch service or choosing whatever you need to do, setting up the coupons, picking the keyword, doing all of that correctly, and then actually distributing coupons and getting sales using them. So that's the actual giveaway. So in terms of this part, the actual giveaway process, there are really not that many things that can go wrong. You can not give away enough units. You cannot set up the ranking URL correctly, or maybe that URL doesn't work. And you could pick the wrong keyword. So either one that is irrelevant or doesn't have enough search volume, right? So these are questions you need to be asking yourself if you're going down that pathway. Have you done those things correctly? If you're interested, I have a tutorial that shows how to do this using Facebook ads and ManyChat. I think that's the best giveaway strategy. I think my tutorial is the best one on YouTube as well. That's up here if you want to check that out. And I do break down step by step what all of these steps are. So if the process isn't working, you'll be able to see which step in this process isn't working for you. And probably the most common two ones are giving away the right quantity of units. There's always variability in that. So I would say if you're not sure about that, give away more units. Again, short-term thinking leads to short-term results, and long-term thinking will lead to long-term results. And we need to go into this with long-term thinking. So you may be losing money up front, but again, if you have confidence that you're doing all of this correctly, the system is correct, then the results pay off in the long term. The other one is picking the right keyword. So if you just pick in an irrelevant keyword, what you'll find is that these metrics, these critical metrics, which we always keep coming back to, which are click-through rate and conversion rate, you'll find your click-through rate and your conversion rate will both be very low for those keywords. That's if they're the wrong keywords. So that's the giveaway. So if you've done all of that correctly, then you will see your product starts to move up in the rankings. So it gets up to a certain point in this curve here. So let's say you started down there, you did the giveaway, you ended up here. So if you did all of that and you ended up there, then technically the giveaway worked. The second point, the second part of the entire launch process is called sticking the launch. And it's just started raining, so I hope you can still hear me. So sticking the launch is where you get up here, that's doing the launch, doing the giveaway. Sticking it is staying up here, being able to get Amazon to recognize that you actually deserve to be up there and just making it basically and staying there. So this is the second part, and all that really matters for that is you maintaining your sales velocity. And we know, we've gone through this enough times, that sales velocity is related to clicks and sales, or click-through rate and conversion rate. So if you have done the giveaway, you've got up there, the next part you need to do is stick the launch, which means you need a click-through rate and a conversion rate that's high enough. Now this sort of, I hope you can see this coming together, where again, if you've done these parts incorrectly, then yes, you will not be able to stick the launch because one or more of these ingredients is not sufficient to give you the click-through rate and the conversion rate, to get the sales velocity, to maintain the keyword ranking, to get success on Amazon. So those are the two parts. And here is how I'd recommend you troubleshoot this. Now that you can break it down a little bit more, rather than just giveaway worked or giveaway didn't work, one of these things or one or more of these things will determine whether it works or not. Troubleshooting. First of all, I'd say, again, just going back to this point, believability. If you're just looking at people who are saying, I did a giveaway, my first giveaway ever, my first product, or I've got a few products on Amazon, and it didn't work for me, crackle, and it didn't work for me, check their believability. If they're not an experienced seller, if they haven't done this 10, 20 times, then don't believe them. That's the honest truth. And also, again, look for the people who say that it does work. The people who have no self-interest in sort of like lying about it to you. You will find those people on Facebook groups. And as long as there's one person doing it, then it works. This process works. So now if somebody's saying that it's not working, then at least now you have the steps in detail enough that you can go through and troubleshoot, or at least like figure out which part of the process doesn't work. And here's the thing. Here's the last thing that I want to talk about. Amazon always changes. This whole environment is always changing. It was different in 2016. Reviews were completely different in 2016 to what they are now. I'm still selling. I'm still succeeding. And reviews will be different again, probably in 2019 and of course in 2020. So Amazon they're always changing things. And if they do, now that you know how all of this stuff works, how it all fits together, you'll be able to work out, not just like it doesn't work or it does work. You'll be able to work out not just, someone said it doesn't work or someone said it does work, but which part doesn't work. And if there's one part that doesn't work, here's the thing that I've discovered over the last 2 years and $2 million is that you can just take that part out, and Amazon sellers have always found a way to just replace that element with something else. So no matter which part of this process changes, fine. If it stops working in the future, that's fine. You'll know what to do to change it. Because you know the fundamentals now, and I'm going to wrap this one up now, because you know the fundamentals, you will always have the ability, the skill set to be able to troubleshoot this, to be able to ensure that whatever product it is that you're launching, you have all of these key ingredients to get those two factors that matter, which is click-through rate and conversion rate. And those things will never change. So this information that I'm teaching you now will be relevant in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time. So the last takeaway that I want to leave you with is, now that you understand these fundamentals, go and use them to take action. Please do this. Get Keeper, get Viral Launch, go onto Amazon if you're in the product research stage, and go and reverse engineer some competitors. There are lots out there. I found the one that I showed you, I found it really quickly. You'll be able to find them and you can see what they're doing. And then use that, if nothing else, to just convince yourself of the fact that real products, real sellers are doing this. Maybe some people aren't, but that doesn't matter. And just get off the rumor mill. Don't let that hold you up from moving forwards and actually taking action and then, succeeding with Amazon. So I've given you the keys to success on Amazon. I've broken it down step by step as to what you really need to be looking for in concrete details. That's all I wanted to leave you with this video. Again, guys, if you found this video valuable, if this is helping you take action and grow your Amazon business, then leave me a comment down below telling me that this is helpful. Smash the thumbs up button. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already done so. All of these things not only tell me that it's worthwhile making more videos like this, but it also helps my channel grow on YouTube as well. So I really do appreciate it. And one last thing, if you are looking for more guidance like this, but taken to the next level, amped up times 10, then do click on the first link in the description down below. That will allow you to join the waitlist for my FBA Accelerator program. If you do that, then I'll see you on the inside. Otherwise, catch you in the next video.